Hi, I'm Tom Millington, and this is my video response to the media fast. Okay, so the task that we were given was to try and avoid all forms of media for a whole 24 hours. So that includes the internet, mobile phones, books, television, film, all those forms of media. We had to avoid all contact with them for a whole day and then document our feelings and how the day went. So before I initiated my media fast, I decided that I was going to narrow down the media that I was avoiding. Some of the more basic and primitive media forms I figured that I couldn't really avoid without completely excluding myself from society. I didn't think that was really the point, because you're meant to see how your day is in a normal society without media. So things like verbal communication and hand gestures, I allowed myself to continue doing, because I didn't really think it was possible to go a day without communicating with anyone at all. So I allowed myself to do that. I just avoided the more high-tech and modern forms of media, such as the internet and phones, along with my books and writing and posters, stuff like that. So also I picked my media fast day on a day I didn't have any lectures or seminars, because I figured the lecture slides were going to be a problem, and I thought any walking down the spine you'd probably encounter a lot of posters, advertising, things like that. So I woke up on the day of my media fast and so yeah, I pretty much instantly failed. I completely forgot when I was setting my alarm the night before that I still had it as a song, and so instantly the music started playing, and a few seconds later I'd realised what I'd done. But this seems to just show how much we rely on media. So I rely on media to wake me up, to get me to where I have to be, to start my day. Without it, I'd just sleep in, and I'd miss lectures, I'd miss important meetings and social things. I rely on media to organise my day pretty much. Other than that, I mean, I pretty much succeeded. I think there's a few times where social spaces, if I was entering the kitchen or if I was walking around, there might be some music playing in the background. But yeah, I didn't listen to my own iPod, and this is one of the most noticeable things for me. I listen to my iPod wherever I go. I always have headphones in. It's probably not a good thing, but if I'm going to a lecture, even if it's in bulk, even if it's 2 minutes down the road, I'm still gonna put my headphones in and listen to music. It doesn't feel right going on a journey or going somewhere without listening to my music now. And so, when I was going to the gym, especially, obviously I listen to music when I'm walking there and walking back, and when I'm in the gym, and when I'm cycling to rowing and stuff. So yeah, without music, you hear more around you. You're more engaged with what's going on around you. You're more approachable as well. Possibly people will speak to you. If you see one of your friends, you're more likely to stop and talk rather than just say hi, because you've got your earphones in. It's like a barrier against talking to people, I guess. But yeah, the lack of music in the day definitely affected my mood. I think I was getting very sick of it. By the end, I was ready to sort of give up at one point, but So throughout the day, one of the main things was I'd realised that I'd developed a lot of habits that centre around media. So if I'm walking around, or if I'm waiting for a bus, I'll often just get my phone out. Literally, it's incredible the amount of times that I just check the time on my phone, or just check and see if there's any social media updates or text messages. So on my media fast day, I often found myself just reaching down into my pocket before realizing oh, I don't have my phone with me. I can't look at it. Also, this left me with a feeling of I didn't actually know what the time was a lot of the time. I don't wear a watch, so I rely on my phone to tell me what the time is. And so the day actually seemed to go really slowly, and time just seemed to go slow, and I didn't really know what to do with myself. So this feeling of not really knowing what to do with myself continued for most of the day. It was quite consistent. Like on a normal day, I could easily spend an hour like in between lectures or something, just checking the internet, checking regular sites that I go on, like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, BBC News, check my emails, stuff like that. Like you can spend an hour doing that easily. So it was times like that when I was like, what should I do with myself? And like on my media day, I'd occasionally walk over to my computer and just remember like, not sure why I went for costume changes. So the day, luckily it was a nice sunny day, so most of the day I spent outside doing like activities. I played football with my mates, and like I had rowing training that evening anyway, so that was okay. But I had to find more like practical ways of entertaining myself, I guess. And some parts of the day I was bored, and so I'd actually find myself just sitting in the kitchen talking to my housemates for a lot of the day. This is good. I mean, it might it might show something about with a lack of media, you might engage more with your friends like in person rather than like commenting on the same things on Facebook or whatever. But I definitely found there was a lack of like recreational stuff. I definitely use media a lot for that, just to kill some time and like yeah, stay updated with things. So in summary, I'd say that unfortunately I did encounter some media in my day. Like obviously the alarm clock incident that was unfortunate, but uh, background music. When I was going into the kitchen, I encountered that. I definitely saw some posters and advertisements. Like also there's a magazine sitting on the table when I went in. It's just like little things that you'd never pay attention to, but when you're trying to avoid it, you like realize that it's literally everywhere. And like I pretty much concluded that you couldn't totally avoid media. You couldn't separate yourself from that world, and if you did, like my main thing was I felt socially excluded. Like I was asking my friends like if stuff was going on, and people were asking me like, "Oh, do you see this on Facebook? Do you see that status?" I'm like, "No, I didn't," because I'm not doing media, and it it basically it's not something I'd ever choose to do. I think in some situations it does become clear that we use it a lot, but I don't know. I would definitely not swap it, and I probably haven't cut down. Like after my immersion day, I just basically went back to normal, and I feel it helps me with a lot of things: communication, recreation, staying up to date, staying socially included, and stuff like that. I think media is crucial in this day and age, and it's just for staying organized and like involved. But yeah, the fast day wasn't too painful. It was an experience, and it was interesting. Definitely opened my eyes to how much media we do encounter. Um, I think I did pretty well, but I'm definitely going to go back to using all my media forms, and I, it just makes things a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable a lot of the time.